Well, welcome to another edition of the Mike and Renee Show. This time we are featuring special guest Dr. Ronnie Sims. And unlike when we spoke with our friend Barry, we aren't doing sipping in place, although I do have my coffee. But we felt like, maybe talking to our one of our health coaches and, wellness people, maybe we shouldn't drink wine, especially not at 1:30. So welcome, Dr. Sims. I'm going to unshare the screen so we can just see you. All right.
Okay, here we go.
Well, I prepared some questions. Hopefully you got those, and just want to dive in and kind of let you do your own intro, because I've seen you, actually Mike and I have both seen you speak a bunch of times, and you always are very eloquent about your practice philosophy and what you guys have going on. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the practice and how long you've been in business here in El Dorado Hills.
Hey, first of all, thanks for having me on, you guys. I love this type of thing. I love the opportunity to talk about health and wellness and how to reach our full potential. I'm also a business owner like all your listeners as well. And so for me, I started Back to Health Chiropractic in 1996 in El Dorado Hills, and I expanded to Granite Bay about 7 years ago. And our mission essentially is to adjust and educate as many individuals and families as possible toward optimum health and wellness, because we know if we do that, that our society is going to operate and function. And we really feel like we've been hitting our mission. We love it. We have a great team, and we're passionate about what we do. We show up every day with energy, and we love doing business in El Dorado County and Placer County. We have a lot of Sacramento County clients as well, but I just, as a native of El Dorado Hills, and seeing all the changes in the community and in Folsom and Cameron Park, Shingle Springs, Granite Bay, all these changes that you see. And for me, it's positive. I love people. I love making long-term connections. I don't think short-term relationships are fun. I like knowing people for a long period of time. So anyway, that's kind of my personal mission, my chiropractic mission, a little bit of our story.
Awesome.
Awesome. Do you want to ask, let me ask the next question. So what are the benefits, if you would elaborate, of regular chiropractic care, and how does your practice differ from your typical chiropractor that somebody might know?
Oh, thank you. Well, I think the first part of that question is, in our practice, there's essentially 4 different types of care that people are under. A lot of people get to us in crisis. They show up with some sort of acute pain. They don't want to take opioids. They're afraid, they're injured, and they're not able to perform up to their capability in life. So we call that kind of crisis urgent care. We're very good in that space. We're very thorough in our evaluation. We're very slow to do spinal care. We're very quick to learn as much about you as we can. Your history is so important to us, your symptoms, your goals. And then for us, we have to really evaluate our clients from the inside out to determine if we think they're in the right place. And not only are they in the right place, are they willing to do what they need to do to get well? And so we have to make sure that there's a connection there, and be very slow to work on people, very quick to assess and diagnose. So I think that kind of sets us apart. And then we have a lot of folks that do corrective care, where they're really upset about their posture. They've seen pictures of themselves at a Christmas card and said, "Honey, I have a hump on my back. When did that happen?" And they're just upset with where they're at with their health. They just have a low self-esteem about it. And so we'll help people kind of have a corrective life change, where they gradually, slowly improve their posture, improve their alignment, which allows your nervous system to flow more effectively, which allows us all to function better, because our nervous system is our master system. It controls everything directly and indirectly. So if my spine's out of alignment, my master system is not going to operate properly. And for me, that's not acceptable. I need to be operating at best of my ability because I want to help people. And so I'm a chiropractic patient. I see a chiropractor weekly for the last 30 years, so that it keeps my nervous system tuned up. And so our practice kind of looks at that. We can help correct problems, lifestyle issues. We can help with nutritional counseling, detox, gut rebuilding, physical fitness, and foundation training, so that you're strengthening the right muscles and stretching the right muscles. and then adding a good fitness program, and then mindset and breath work and things like that. So we try to bring it all together. We believe that health is more than just having your back adjusted by a chiropractor. We believe that's integral, but there has to be a lot of other things on top of that. So I think that's kind of what sets us apart, is that whole body approach that's based on science and art and our philosophy. So sorry, long answer to a great question.
That's awesome. Wonderful. Renee, did you want to ask the next question?
Yeah, I mean, obviously a lot of what the conversations that we're having right now are, pretty fearful and around this virus. And so much talk is about the cures from the outside in. And I know when I've been in your the last few weeks, you're really talking about how can we heal from the inside out. So I'd love if you could share some of that with the people that are listening. And then, yeah, that's it, actually.
No, it's a great question too. I think, there's two driving healthcare philosophies that I've encountered. And there's some variations of both. And that is, health is somehow this outside in thing where it's just luck, right? I haven't missed a day at work and people say, you're just lucky. And I'm like, nah, it's more than luck. And then, the germ theory where, I'm going to get a germ and I'm more inside out. Like I want to look at the host and us being the host and how hospitable am I to harmful viruses? And you mentioned fear at the start of that question. Fear cripples your nervous system and your immune system. It just cripples the system. There's a connection between my brain and my adrenal gland called the HPA axis, hypothalamus, pituitary, and adrenal. And when you're in fight, flight, and you're in fear mode and you're anxious, you are going to be producing more cortisol, which means your kidney and liver aren't going to be able to keep up, especially if your diet isn't what it should be. And all of a sudden now you're in this fight flight situation, your immune system's down-regulated, right? And so just fear alone and anxiety alone and having that chronic, I'm stuck in fight flight functionality, you're asking for trouble, especially if you throw a bad diet and bad habits and poor posture onto that. So that's why, again, back to your question is, what can we do that's inside out? Well, I like to look at health as a bonfire. If I love bonfires, I'll go beach, mountains, whatever. You guys like bonfires?
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Oh, yeah. And it's the memories around the bonfire too, right? And I wish I was the guitar singing guy. I'm just not that guy, but I could do a little stand-up. I got a little, like a 5 to 10 minute stand-up routine that's pretty good. I can get people laughing, but for me, a bonfire is, you got to have fuel. Your diet is your fuel. And if you're eating fake food, you're going to get bad results. If you're eating food that man's had his hands in a lot, you're going to get bad results. If you're eating food that comes out of the earth, you're going to get great results. I just read a great book, Eat to Beat Disease, and talks about that very thing. There's foods we can eat that help my stem cells. There's foods I can eat that help my immunity. There's foods that I can ingest that help me grow blood vessels away from cancer, not to cancer. There's certain foods I eat that help with my DNA and my telomeres and protect my DNA so I don't age so rapidly. And so, diet alone, you can move the needle on immunity. What I said earlier, physically, when you have bad posture, you tend to pant, which means you become a mouth breather. When you're a mouth breather, you're stuck in sympathetic nervous system mode. And that's not a good place to be stuck because, again, cortisol upregulates, your body retains fat to hide the toxins because your kidney and liver can't keep up with the extra cortisol. It's just a bad place. And so if my posture's better and I nose breathe, I clean my air, it's like a plumbing sweep. It goes down further into my lower lung, which, by the way, with COVID-19, we know it's attacking the lungs. You want that strong lung right now. And so posture determines how you breathe. And you want to breathe through your nose. And so just on breathing and posture alone, doing the stand-up workstation, taking breaks during the day to stretch and move and clear your head, planning your health planning around so back to the fuel. You got the fuel, then you have to have oxygen, which is movement. Then you need a spark to have a good bonfire. And the spark is the headspace. I have a 10-minute, 15-minute routine in the morning and a 15-minute routine at the end of every day where I do box breathing, I do controlled pause breathing, I do meditation, affirmations, visualizations, and prayer. Then I end my day in a similar fashion with gratitude at both ends. And it keeps my spark, my ability to inspire others, my ability to help others, my ability to lead my family and my community. You need a spark to be successful in business. You both have a spark about you that I appreciate. You have dynamic personalities and you truly want to help people, right?
Yeah.
We share
Yeah,
that,
for sure.
right? So a bonfire is your diet, it's your posture, your physical fitness, your alignment, and it's your headspace, it's your routines, it's what you say to yourself about yourself. That you say really good things to yourself every morning, affirm yourself. So anyway, that's just kind of an inside out look at that. In our practice, we measure heart rate variability. Heart rate variability is a measure of whether or not I'm in fight, flight, or in rest, digest. We want to be balanced in between. We want to be able to slow our minds and our hearts so as to have that delicate balance of fight, flight, out getting work and marketing and go, 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 plates in the air.
Yeah.
But then sitting on the couch watching Netflix, eating In-N-Out burger, you know, and spilling all over. And so those two extremes, and I want to be in that middle, right? And so we measure heart rate variability. It's a great thing to measure as far as your immunity. I don't know if you're ready for this. Tell me when you are, but I'd love to have you guys try something too, as a way to use breathing to test your immune system to see how you are as an indicator with your breath work. So anyway.
Yeah, we can do it because I mean, I know Renee loves a good challenge, so.
I know you mentioned the contest when I was in the office yesterday. I was like, oh yeah, I'm down. I'll compete with Mike. We do this every day.
We don't have to do that now. Tell me when you're ready for that part.
Okay.
Did I answer your question? Did you want me
kind
to
of answered the next question already. What are the 3 to 5 things you would do, recommend people do on a daily basis and with your exercise in the morning and evening and taking care, not just mentally, but with the breathing exercises? I think that kind of answered the question, unless there was anything else you wanted to add to that particular question.
Let me give you 3 nuggets.
Okay.
I would, for the fuel, I would try intermittent fasting 2 to 3 times a week. You want to build up slow. You want to skip your breakfast. Now, if you're a coffee drinker, you can have organic coffee. What you do is you put a scoop of collagen into that. And then you add a little MCT oil to that, and you can use a little bit of organic cream, and you mix it and have your morning coffee only, no breakfast. And then your first meal will be lunch, and make that a really good meal, like a salad with some good food-based carbs, nuts and seeds and oils, some lean protein, some fish, and have a really, really good first meal. And try to cut your eating window down. That will improve your immunity right away. That'll get you, that'll naturally detox your body and help your adrenal gland calm down. Movement. Make sure you have a nice morning warm-up with your back. You do maybe a little yoga flow, some stretching, some posture work. Movement's a great way to start your day. A nice morning walk. And then for headspace, I would box breathe. For box breathing, you want to breathe in through your nose for about 4 seconds. You want to hold your breath for 4 seconds. You want to exhale out your nose for 4 seconds. And then the hard part is you want to hold your breath again at the end of the exhale. And you form a beautiful box that will lower your heart rate. It will get you actually focused. If you have a meeting with a client, you have a house to show, you have a seminar you got to speak at, box breathe right before that. Complete laser focus, but calm. So those would be my 3 nuggets.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Renee.
Yes. So I know we've talked about this at the practice too, but what do you think from a health perspective it should look like as we move towards opening up this darn country, and more specifically like our county and state?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm obviously more inside out, holistic. I don't know. I don't think the answer to this is in some magic formula. I think it's in Americans changing the way they live their lives from a health perspective. And again, talking about the comprehensive parts of health, not just physical health. And for me, in our practice, we've made it, and always have made it, safe, clean, a welcoming place. And we're going to continue to take extraordinary measures to make people feel safe, to have social distance. So we've done that. I think I'm excited to see people get out and be around each other. We need to develop that herd immunity. I'm nervous that a lot of people are going to be going back out with weak immune systems because you haven't been exposed to other people. And, I'm not a big fan of the masks. I think it's bad for your health to wear a mask. You're rebreathing a lot of your own air, your own viruses. It's not good for O2, CO2 exchange. It's not good. It's just generally not a good health plan to wear a mask. Are there times when you should wear a mask? Absolutely. So there's just certain things where I think philosophically people have it all wrong. We scrub our hands, we scour our hands, and we clean it with all this stuff, and we're weakening our immune systems. We get immunity by touching things, grabbing things, being around people. And so if you were to follow all my health tips and my health advice, you're going to have a super strong immunity. As far as supplements, just supplements you can take, not to digress on nutrition, but if you're going to take zinc, make sure you take enzymes with that, because a lot of people can't digest zinc very well. But if you take enzymes, your body can break it down and use that zinc. Zinc's effective at helping break RNA viruses, which is exactly what COVID-19 is. But so take some supplements, get some zinc going, get some proteolytic enzymes going with that. Vitamin C is good. We got to have enzymes, multivitamin, trace minerals, fish oil. So there's things you can do every day just to get yourself ready to go back. Don't just go back without being ready. And I think, obviously Zoom and these other platforms are teaching us all that there are multiple ways we can communicate effectively with people. But I just think life is meant to be life on life, though. We need to touch, shake hands again. This is not, again, it's a philosophy. People are so afraid. And when you're confused, you're afraid. And that's when you're under the control of others. And do you trust those individuals? I'm not going to get political, but anyway, I just feel like I want people to think about their health, get educated. I'm going to do a Zoom, couples 3 or 4 planned, just Zoom webinars on how to strengthen your innate immunity and your microbiome and your gut health. Right now would be a great time to be taking probiotics and working on your cardiovascular. And but as far as business, I'm excited. Every business person all shares the same thing, and that is we want to help people and make some money so we can support our families. And we all need to attract new clients, and we all want to convert them to our way of thinking and bring them into our tribes. And we all want to retain them. So we all share that as business people. There's going to be different ways you're going to have to attract people right now. You have to be creative. You're going to have to pivot. You're going to have to think out of the box. And so I think, it's going to be exciting to see what happens. I know a lot of people are really afraid. So I want you to really focus on your breathing right now and get out of fear mode and start educating yourself, start taking care of yourself, start, taking this health thing serious, So anyway, again, I could talk all day about that.
Well, and this wasn't something that I had written down, but I was thinking about it this morning. I actually did take the dog for a little walk jog, and, that's a good time, for me to clear my head and think about things. And just when I look at the overall numbers of, just how many Americans have contracted this virus compared to other countries, do you think that goes back to our diet and wellness and, just that lack of really focusing on our own health and kind of, again, not taking that personal responsibility for our vessel, as you often say?
Yeah,
is that why we're getting more?
Yeah, we've raised a culture of people now that it made it easy to blame everybody else for my problems. And so I think the reason anybody's in a health crisis is because we don't take personal responsibility. And, for me, I raised my boys they had to take personal responsibility. We ran a very strict household with a lot of love sprinkled in there. And so the second reason that people are in a health crisis or countries is because they have the wrong definition of what health is. Most Americans have bought this bag of goods that health is how you feel, which makes it very easy to take a pill, right? Or to take a stimulant. It makes it very easy if that's your idea of health. And most Americans don't know a lot about their health. They kind of gave up on that topic in 8th grade or 11th grade and said, I'm going to go into business, not science. And they stopped studying their own body. Most people I meet know more about their devices than they do how their body works. And so for me, that's a problem. And that's really makes me sad that we've gotten hooked on big pharma like that. I meet so many people that are on 7 to 10 medications, and it just it breaks my heart. When you go to an amusement park, you go anywhere in America, the obesity pandemic it's humiliating, it's embarrassing. And so we've been sold a bag of goods, but a lot of it's the man in the mirror. You know, it's me not taking responsibility for my health and me not being my own health advocate. And I mean, with Google now, there's so much you can learn, and there's so many great books and podcasts you can watch to learn about your health. And I mean, and come on, if this is not a megaphone cry from the mountaintops saying, Americans, wake up and take better care of yourself and quit allowing these fast food companies to grow so rapidly. And I put Starbucks in there, sorry, but these genetically modified foods we're eating, and the convenience eating, and the lack of health planning, and the dependence on big pharma medicines. It's just wrong, you know? And the other thing we do is we procrastinate. That's why gyms have always been able to sell unlimited memberships, because 90+% of their members never show up except month 1, right? And so that's why January at the gym is crazy, because the New Year's resolution crowd's there. Now, I do feel promise, Mike and Renee. I'm seeing more families out walking, hanging out. I love that. They're getting the natural vitamin D, which is great for your immune system. You got to get out in the sun, especially that morning sun. Even the moonlight. People don't realize the moonlight is good for your body, right? Yeah. There's some great moons lately. So spend some time outside this time of year. And, but anyway, yeah, you're right, Renee. That's why it's hitting us so hard, because we're very unhealthy, and we're very hospitable to viruses because we are unhealthy. Our bodies are very receptive to it, and it's a warm, cuddly place for evil viruses.
Yeah, I think, and I love that stat. It's in your practice that we make up 5% of the world's population, and we consume, is it 56% of all the drugs?
It ranges between 60 to 75. The problem is we're Americanizing the world, so the numbers are changing, and we're demonizing other nations with our ideology. Like the whole idea you can spray Roundup in Britain now, you know, just kind of gave me bad feelings. You know, it's like we're just, I don't know, we're being controlled by these big companies that do not have our best interests at heart. And for those of you that did the PPP, you know, as an example of the small banks did really well because they have the mom and pop, the local, they're going to help you. They want to help you. The big industries, big government, big pharma, all the stuff that starts with big is not in your best interest. So anyway.
Cool. Hey, Renee, do you want to do the competition?
Yes.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
So let me explain it to you before we do it. And please don't make this a competition. I want this to be a test.
I was planning on not passing out.
Okay. So you're going to breathe. I want you right now while I'm talking to breathe just kind of a natural in and out your nose. Not hyperventilating, just really smooth. Just keep that rhythm going as I explain this. So when I ask you, I'm going to have you breathe in for about 5 seconds, 6 seconds. Okay. And then breathe out about the same. So a little bit bigger breath. And then at the bottom of that breath, you're going to plug your nose and hold your breath. And then we're going to time this. Does one of you have a timer there? My timer is being used as a camera right now.
Okay, I can. Renee, do you want to use the phone?
Yeah, I can get mine up.
Cool.
Okay, so you're going to hold your breath after you exhale, not after you inhale. And I'll tell you when to hold it. And then you're going to hold it until you feel that need to come up for air. You guys know the feeling. You've been snorkeling where you went down a little too deep, like, oh, I better get back up there. So make sure that it's not, and that first breath back should be through your nose and controlled. If it's not, if it's an anxious breath, that doesn't count. You held your breath too long. That's not an accurate score. If you listen to your body, that first urge to breathe, you breathe through your nose comfortably. That amount of time that you held your breath is your score. So let's go ahead and do it, and I'll explain the scoring system after, okay? So you guys been breathing? Okay, so breathe in, breathe out. Now plug your nose and hold your breath.
Yeah, I had to stop too.
Okay. Now, I will say that Mike was more pure in his nose at the end. Renee, I felt like you were coming up for air a little bit more desperately. But anyway,
Yeah, she's so
what was,
competitive.
so I'm going to call that a dead heat. What was the time?
So I had 19 seconds.
Okay.
Mine says 21, but I was literally watching it and just waiting for Mike to go.
Yeah. So I'm going to give you both 19, maybe 18. Okay, above 30 is found with people with good immune systems.
Mm-hmm.
Above 45 is people with above average immune systems, and above a minute is super immunity. So how do I get better at that? By the aforementioned box breathing. If you do that twice a day for 3 to 5 minutes, or you can do 4-7-8, which essentially you breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds, you hold your breath for 7, you exhale out your mouth for 8. Very similar to box breathing. You can do alternating nostril breathing, where you breathe in through one nose, in, out, change nose, in, out, okay? Very calming. You can also do what I just taught you and test yourself 2 to 3 times a day.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys do that for a while, you'll get above 30 within 2 to 3 weeks.
Nice.
So by adding breath work, you're going to strengthen your immunity from the inside out as much as anything you can do at home by yourself. So anyway.
I want to give a little plug for you and just the practice, because last year, I know that you do this a few times a year, and I've been a patient now for a little bit over a year, I think, and had a little break when I was feeling good. So, back to that whole, oh, I feel good, so I must be healthy. Anyway, I learned my lesson because I got all tweaked, but I did the detox that you advised, and it was interesting because my cholesterol levels were borderline to where my doctor here in town said, hey, we might want to think about doing some medication. And I was like, no, that's not me. I'm, in my 40s still. I'm not going to get on medication. That's not happening. And so I did the detox and then went back and got retested. And he was like, did you go on medication? Because your numbers are really good. And so it was just, just back to that whole, like, diet is everything. So
big time. Yeah, I agree.
I think you can compare it.
Points there.
Go ahead.
One is people typically go to the chiropractor when they're in crisis. And when the pain goes away, and it goes back to what I said about our definition of health. Health is much more than how we feel. It's how we function. And so for us, when somebody begins to feel better, the corrective work isn't done in many cases. And maintenance and wellness care are the easiest ways for me to keep away from flare-ups, to keep my spine functional, to keep my nervous system operating right. And then if I can add all these other things with the diet, the detox, which I do once a year, a detox basically helps your liver, has 2 pathways, and it helps those 2 pathways kick into gear so it can catch up. And then that visceral fat that's toxic can begin to offload those toxins back into the kidney and liver. And then we start to be able to burn that adipose tissue. It's available. Toxic fat is not available for burning. It's available for storage. That's why people ask me, hey, doc, how do I get rid of that, this, and the other? And I say, you have to do an inside-out approach on detox. Usually after detox, I'll have people do 30 days of gut health rebuilding to make sure your microbiome, which is basically your throat to the very end, is full of healthy bacteria. And we can be proactive in that area as well. So I'll do that. And then another thing we focus on is helping people learn how to not have sugar cravings through a keto paleo existence after that. So if you do a detox, gut rebuild, and then you switch into a kind of low-level keto paleo lifestyle where you're seeing a chiropractor twice a month and you're doing your breathing program and you're working on your fitness with walking and stretching and core exercises, all of a sudden, all your health scores get better. Your cholesterol goes down, your heart rate variability gets more balanced, and most of all, you'll see your career begin to take off because now you're showing up with more game. You got more talent. You're when you're operating at 65% of your potential and you're a hard worker, you're going to have a good career. But if you show up at 85 and above and you are a hard worker, you're going to crush it. So anyway, that's what's really helped my practice explode over the years is my own personal commitment to my wellness. So when I show up as a leader in my team, that I'm showing up with energy. I mean, energy is everything, right? When you meet people,
Yes.
they feel your energy. You guys have great energy, by the way.
Mhm.
You guys have that dynamic duo personality, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So let's talk about how do people, what's the easiest way to connect with you, and if they want to take their health a little bit more serious, where should they start?
Yeah, so I think for me, the business is Back to Health Chiropractic. Our URL is Back to Health Family Care. And we have an office in Granite Bay and El Dorado Hills. We have 4 doctors. We have 6 support staff. We have a massage therapist, and we do insurance billing. We do new patient evaluation specials. I mean, because they're connected to you, if you just mention the Mike and Renee show, or is it the Renee and Mike show? I don't know. Did I get that wrong now?
I think it's really it's the Renee show, but
That's all right. You're a
okay.
smart man. You're a smart man. But no, it would be if you mention the show, then I will give this corporate discount we do, because we do a lot of corporate wellness. So we'll lower the bar for you to at least go through our new patient experience. We don't adjust any clients on day one. We spend all of our time really learning about people and finding out what's going on with them. And we do a lot of tests that require a lot of us to study these tests, so that before we present them to you and decide on what type of care you need, whether it's a referral to a specialist or chiropractic care or rehab, or what do you need, you know? And so for us, just connect through the web. I'm on Instagram at Back to Health Family Care, on Facebook. All of our media is very positive, uplifting stuff that you can add to your life.
And we'll upload this to our Facebook and tag you, so hopefully people we get the word out, and they can find you that way as well.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Cool.
And
I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, my famous last question is always, what questions did we not ask that we should have?
I don't really, I think I have a good one more about you guys. Is that okay?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So I just always wanted to know how you guys met.
That's a great story, and not everybody knows that, huh? So
No.
I was.
I mean, technically at a bar.
Nice.
That's the fun story, but really I came to work in the United States and for Enterprise Rent-A-Car in 1997. And one of the first outings was going to a bar, and that's where I ran into Renee.
It was an enterprise hangout, so it wasn't as, like scandalous as it sounds. I didn't, like pick him up in a bar. We actually just met. We were friends for, oh my gosh, like 8 months. And then Mike swooped in and made a move. And yeah,
nice.
I've been hooked on German ever since.
There you go.
Okay, so the second question on that is, because you guys just reminded me of an episode from The Office. What 2 characters are you in The Office?
But I don't watch The Office, so I couldn't tell you.
Good. Don't waste your time. That's
yeah, that was never one of our shows, but I would definitely say the couple that, I can't think of their names right now, but.
It's Jim and Pam.
Pam. Yeah, I guess
there you go.
Pam.
Yeah, you guys are Jim and Pam. All right.
Awesome. Well,
all right.
Doc,
awesome.
We really appreciate your time, your insight, that you take care of us. I'm feeling so much better. I actually just got adjusted this morning, and I walked out there. I felt literally 2 inches taller. I felt just great.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
Yeah. Hey, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Thanks, Dr. Ronnie.
Okay, bye guys. Thanks a lot. All right.
See you next week.
Have a great weekend.
Thanks.
All right, bye-bye. You too.
Bye.
Bye.
So that was a great interview. I really enjoyed Dr. Sims. What do you want to add? People probably want to, if they want to know more, like what we just did.
Yes.
Should they follow us?
Yeah, people should definitely follow us, because we'll have more interviews like this, and share this with people that you think might, want to get in better health themselves. If you know anybody in the area that needs a great chiropractor that's a more holistic approach than just, like crack your back and you're out of there. That's the thing that I appreciate so much about Dr. Ronnie and his practice, is they've got tools and equipment there that, really helps in alignment. And it's just been, literally, life changing being part of that practice and getting healthier over the last year with them.
Right.
So,
And then what I took from it, sometimes you hear things over and over and you don't really hear them until you're ready for it.
yes.
Yes. What I heard was there's a lot of focus on how to improve your immune system, just by chiropractic care, the breathing techniques and things like that. And what better thing to do right now than to boost your immune system to be able to fight off whatever comes, whether that's this current virus or anything in the future, we don't know. So give yourself a fighting chance, right?
Right. Especially as things do start to open up. I mean, if we're all putting ourselves in a position to win against this virus and we have stronger immunities, it's you're gonna, or we would be one of those people that it's like, oh yeah, I had COVID, but it didn't affect me as aggressively as other folks that have a weakened immune system. So that's my goal, is eat more salad, do the breathing and get aligned, and just, if it comes into our household, that we have that fighting chance, like you just said. So
cool.
I'm super grateful for Dr. Ronnie hanging out with us this morning. And again, please like, follow, and share. And if we can help you with any real estate questions, of course, we're here for that too.
Awesome. Thank you so much and have a great day.
Bye.